All right, it's time for Yogi and the BeachMan. Hi, I'm Jim the Yogi.
And I'm Rick Beach the BeachMan.
We're two Michigan transplants now living in Southwest Florida.
In fact, we're cousins born in 1964, just a month apart.
I like to meditate.
And I like to play bass in a band.
I'm into chanting Om.
And I'm into throwing down some classic rock.
But together, we're on a mission
to promote people that are helping other people.
We want to make the world a better place.
One conversation at a time.
So sit back,
turn up the volume,
and get ready to laugh.
Because we like to have fun
while we spread the love.
Interviewing lovely people. Yes, we have fun.
How are you guys?
Good, how are
How's
you?
it going?
I am amazing.
I like that.
Yeah.
I saw you were up in Clearwater.
St. Pete, and I had the best. I still can't get over how great it went. And I still feel like it's amazing.
Well,
What'd you do there?
well,
I
how about
hosted
you
my-
better tell us about it.
Oh yeah. It's for the show.
Great. Okay.
I'm ready to go.
You ready to go?
I am.
Welcome back to Yogi and the BeachMan. Once again, we are with the
Talented, wonderful, cool, funny.
talented, wonderful, cool, fun, eclectic, spiritualist. Michelle Powell, how are you? And welcome to the show.
Hi, I'm so glad to be back. And it's funny that I'm glad we started recording right away, because I thought you knew where I was, which was why you asked me to come back on. So the fact that you didn't realize where I was, I'm so excited to share my story.
Oh, yeah. Wonderful.
So I did yesterday was my birthday. Happy 42nd birthday to me.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. From Friday night to Sunday, I held my first ever retreat. It was a three-day retreat, and for women, what was it? What did I call it? The empowerment of the evolutionary woman. Woohoo! And I had 8 women, myself included, so me plus 7. I had a co-host, and never did a retreat before. When I tell you, it was the easiest, smoothest, most perfect thing I ever, and I only, from start to finish, from the girl, there was a moment about 2 months ago that this girl I just met, her name's Carrie, she's beautiful, amazing, wonderful soul. She was like, I feel called or led to lend you, she's got a space in St. Pete. And then she was like, girls retreat, ? And I was like, grabbed that energy, and I was like, that sounds like a wonderful idea. Let's see what we can make happen.
Oh, that's perfect. What kind of facility did you have?
She has 2 family homes that are like vacation rentals that are walking distance from each other, right on the beach in like St. Pete. So it was just perfect. And she's like, they had nothing going on this particular weekend, and it just, every little piece fell right into place.
Synchronicity. I love when that happens.
Exactly. I even had one girl came and did like a sound bowl meditation, and like we did like witchy ritual thing at night, crying, healing our broken hearts during the
Wait,
day.
you just can't say witchy ritual thing. You got to explain it.
I say that because that's kind of my flavor, but it's really the same as church. It's just different. When they talk about Bible studies,
Yeah.
that's kind of what we do. It's just a totally different like filter. So like the girls gather, and we say our prayers. We invite our if you want to call in a spirit guide or your ancestor, be like, I'm really feeling my mom today, or I really like the archangel Michael, or whatever. So kind of like create like a sacred holy space, and we talk about like our soul's development, and we pray and we uplift one another, and we encourage one another. And I ran everybody through some really powerful meditations, and did my little magic, boop, 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 touch everybody, send them love and light. And then we actually did where we took turns blessing one another. And so that type of synergy, when you bring women together, and I grew up doing it at a prayer circle at church. And when I realized, oh, wait, we could do this in any setting, under any name, as long as our intentions and our love is aligned. So I call it the ritual, right? Well, and I talked a lot about spiritual evolution over the course of the whole weekend. And I think that that's really where my message is kind of leading me, is just helping us. I mean, I feel especially called to the women, but I always feel like the guys can come too if they want, but my heart is like the women. And so like learning about how to evolve from the inside out, and like transmute the pain and all that stuff. And plus we were on the beach, so we got to watch the beautiful sunset. I think I was the only one. No, actually a couple other girls went in the water and everything, and there's the pool, and it was just a beautiful scenic everything. And when I say signs, miracles, wonders, prophecies, like follow me up my whole life, I just did it for 3 days by myself. It was great. Like, I don't mean by myself, but I mean like without my mom and dad, which still is in the back of my head because that's how I grew up. And so I laugh now when I look at how quickly things are changing, and how the divine, when you are in alignment, works, because every woman that was supposed to be there was supposed to be there. And so we had the exact dynamic, and my goal going into it, my intentions were to help each person receive what they need. I don't need to tell them what they need. I had a questionnaire to help them figure it out, but they need to do that part of work, and I will like come alongside them and help them find their way. And so every single one of them got what they needed. I had one friend who was baptized in light language, if you want to call it that. So now she's practicing speaking in tongues, and she's like, I've had a spiritual awakening. Like, this is lovely. Another one, she figured out what she wants to do for like her job and her next path. Like, everybody just had different stories. And so I'm at the end of all of it, one of the girls was like, I can't believe you're not tired. I was like, I feel better than ever. Like, I slept this morning a little bit, but by the time it was like 3 or 4 o'clock, I was like, what's the next event? Let's do it. So yeah, that's where my head has been, and that's what I've been doing. And I'm just coming off that kind of energetic high.
Yeah, how fun. And you could feel your energy. You're just bubbly.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell me more about this inner spiritual evolution.
Oh, this is like my new favorite buzzword, like for me, because it's almost like it's linked to something much deeper. I believe that humanity has much more control over our individual evolution than we even like to admit to ourselves. Whether anyone wants to believe me does not matter, but I can feel myself evolving, and I can feel my cells expanding. And I actually talked to my husband about it last night, because I was like, just to let you know, I can literally feel things changing in my cerebellum. I can feel the way my blood is moving. It's differently. My brain is thinking differently. When they talk about things like integration, like, okay, you have a spiritual epiphany. Oh my gosh, I never thought of that. Wow. And then you have to like take that knowledge and like whittle it into your heart so you can actually embody it. I've always done that rather quickly, but this has kind of been like a rocket ship of difference. When they talk about things like quantum leaping this weekend, it was magic. That's why I'm like, oh my God, I really am a witch. Look at the magic. Look at all of the heart's desires fulfilled. Look at all the women. And then I bless them and let them go do their piece, because whatever it is, it's like, this is real magic. Like, and for my own self, like the awareness I'm getting within is just, this is new for me. And I'm just very, very much so paying attention, because I know I'm going to write many, many books, but there's something very particular brewing in me that is meant, hopefully, if we can put it together in here and we can get it out correctly here, I think it will help a lot of people.
Sounds fascinating.
So yeah.
So
How are you guys? You talk. How are you?
Us talk. I feel great.
Yeah, I'm always doing good.
Anything interesting in your world?
My daughter announced her pregnancy.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It really was. Yeah, we're really excited. And so she's about 8 or 9 weeks right now.
Is this her first?
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna throw my guessing in the thing. You don't have to tell me, but I'm wondering if it's a girl. I'm not always right when it comes to the gender of babies, so don't quote me on that. But that's where I would put my hat. So that would be really cool. But that's exciting. That's so wonderful. I'm very, very happy for her.
From day one, that's what I felt too.
It's a girl. Okay, now you just made me feel better. I feel so much better.
Yeah. But
a lot of girls in our family.
I have Megan's my biological daughter. I have 2 other daughters that are actually stepdaughters, but I raised from little kids. And Jim's got 2 daughters, so we have a whole collection of women.
I have 3 granddaughters, 1 grandson, and my youngest daughter also has a baby on the way. She's due in September, and she's having a girl.
Oh, that's wonderful. But that's so interesting. So my biological family is almost all boys. Like, now my dad had 3 daughters and 1 son, but all of them had boys. So like there's like 2 girls and like 9 kids. So it's really, really interesting that you guys have like the opposite flip of that in your bloodline. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, congratulations on all the happy little babies.
Yeah, thanks. It's
Yeah.
gonna be it's fun, and we're going. I'm headed out of town on Friday to head up to Louisville for the same daughter's master's graduation in nursing.
Oh,
So
in nursing. Oh, wow.
yeah, yeah. So we're headed up there for check out Louisville.
That's
And I get to babysit his dog.
No,
Ooh.
Alicia's taking him.
Oh, he is. You didn't tell me.
Oh, that was sad.
had
I
it
was
on
like,
my
"Ooh,
calendar for a
babysitting."
month.
Yeah,
Oh,
and now he just
you
snatched
said
it
he
from
had to
me.
be outside, so
No, I didn't.
you had to lock him away somewhere, so I didn't want to do that. You
Oh,
did. You said last time he was here, he peed or pooped or something,
Well, he always
and
does
we'd have
that,
to
but I
put
figured
him
once he
over
was here.
here. We'd have to put him out, maybe put him out on the lanai or something. You said something like that, and I'm
Oh.
like, if he doesn't have unrestricted access to the house, I'm not interested. So
you know
I
what?
put
I'm
him
with
over
you
here.
there. I think it's funny
Yeah.
you dropped off the list. You're done.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
enough for
yeah.
the dog.
Dang
He
it.
dropped off the list. So
That's all right. That's
Alicia,
how it goes sometimes.
my oldest daughter was over last weekend and with her two dogs, and I'm like, hey, because all the three dogs know each other and they're the
Exactly.
same size, so that was cool.
It
And he
worked.
just got
It all works out.
groomed today, and he is for sure the cutest Yorkie in Charlotte County.
Oh my gosh. I believe you. I 100% believe you.
He is a good dog.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun this weekend. Graduation, and then
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, send love and blessings from the stranger Michelle in Naples, because I think that your family line, it just seems like they are blessed. So that's very cool.
yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're talking about the dogs. So at the retreat, we had 2 dogs, and I have always
People got to bring their dogs to a retreat.
yeah, we let 2 of them. Well,
That's really nice.
it was one. They were like the perfect therapy dogs. I don't know. They're not like They're not like, I don't know, registered or whatever. But like one's a
Doesn't
black
matter.
lab that she's just a lover, and the other one is like a little Maltese who just was whatever. So it was perfect. And actually, one of the girls who flew in, she doesn't know me. She interviewed me on a podcast, right? I don't know, a little shortly after I met you guys, and one time, and then she was the first person that I had invited when I realized I was going to be like, you know what, I'm going to throw a price tag on this. I'm going to invite people. I'm going to say it's my birthday party and this is my justification. Come pay money and spend time with me. Let's talk about God. And she was like, she booked it. She's like, yes. And she said one of the biggest selling points was that there were dogs there. She was like, there's dogs there too. Yes, I'm coming. I will be there. So, but now I want a dog again, but I don't want to walk it.
Just get a little dog. It's
I'm
so
just
easy.
gonna have to walk it. And I had little dogs. I won't get away with that. I'm with you. I wish. No, my husband will trump me on that. If I get a little dog, he'll just go get a bigger one. He's ready for a big dog.
Yeah.
Why don't you want to walk it? Walking's so good for you.
Yes, I think it's because right now I don't have the time. And we
Yeah.
live in an RV community, so like to top it off, half of these people have those little annoying signs that says no peeing or pooping here.
Mhm.
So and I'm way in the back from the dog park, so it would be a hassle. But I was thinking just today that I should have a little sticker on the front of my house that says I don't own, like, or something like the earth belongs to all of us. Go ahead and poop there. I don't know, something funny, because I get mad that they're like, why? I don't know, people are petty. I wanted to be petty in the opposite direction.
I like that.
Just
Yeah, I know
set
that.
up your own little dog park in your front yard. All dogs welcome here.
Exactly.
I
Someday,
think my dog's a little rebellious because when it sees those signs, it makes it a point to poop or pee there.
you know what? Good for your dog. I mean, I probably would too if no one was looking and I was a dog. Yeah.
That's funny.
Mm.
So what else did you do? Like, what were some of the exercises and stuff that you thought were a success with your girls up there?
So Friday night was all about bonding. So it was like pajama girls' nights in. We ordered pizza. One of the ladies that came is an older woman in her 60s, and she was like the grandma mother in the kitchen. She cooked for a couple meals for us, and she was just very like, she just shines her love, Chantel, and she was very like sweet and like serving and like making food and like hanging out with us, and then what, Carrie made soup that night, and we watched a movie about healing. There's a movie on the app called Gaia about healing, and it's really really interesting. And so we watched that and just kind of like got to know everybody. We did some like gentle prayers and some gentle meditation, and then I had, oh, I should have brought it in here. I had 8 questions for the women, and I had a whole itinerary overbooked, which I kind of knew because there was a lot there. I knew there was going to be some. I even put in the welcome letter because not all of them actually. Most of them did not really know me. Like they met me once or something. So, in the welcome letter, I'm like, here's the detailed to the T, every single, all of it, even the breaks. These are the breaks. Please know, if for those of you that have worked with Michelle, this is fluid. I may change it all in the moment. This is just to kind of keep me really on schedule. And so bonding Friday night, hanging out. We did go watch the sunset over the beach with there's a big bridge there. Like it's just the view is spectacular. And then Saturday morning was talking a lot about the way in which our brain works as far as old limiting beliefs, old thinking habits, patterns that we need to raise our awareness of, and kind of like the step-by-step way in which you do that. Like when we were growing up, when I was growing up, I would say fix your attitude, right? Change your attitude. Well, that's kind of like today's version of being aware of our energy and looking, stopping before you react. Like, what the fuck? Oh wait, hold on. What am I feeling? Truly. I can react in a minute if I still want to freak out. But what does this feel like? And like really kind of paying attention. And so I would help them like verbally identify what they were experiencing. And so like if we would do meditations and stuff, and then I would do check-ins and say someone is seeing colors or something, I would go back and ask them follow-up questions. Did the color have any other kind of sensory perception with it? Did anybody smell anything? Or like kind of get their brains to think differently. But from the questionnaire that we started on Friday, that they all gave to me so I could know where they were. And because of me, I could read what they wrote and I knew what the focus was for like that person. And so the first question was, who are you at like your core deepest level? I knew I should have brought those in here. See, I don't listen to myself all the time either. And they were all like laughing because they're like, this is really hard. I'm like, good. That's awesome. It should be. And the goal was, and I even told them, I said, I want to look at them because I want to know where you are. I don't want to waste time figuring it out. I want to know where you are so I can help you progress on your own evolutionary path. But the goal was you write out exactly how you feel now at the beginning. And by the end, some of these questions you should have further understanding in regards to your own life. The second question was, what's my purpose? And that can start anywhere. Like when I was doing some of this for myself, I'm like, well, I'm a mother, right? I'm a wife, because these are part of me. But the more I kind of dug down, get in touch with exactly who I am, find like when I say I remember who I am, I mean it in the truest sense. And these girls got to see this up front, very close to me. And it was very educational for all of us, truly. We all learned from each other. But so like when I say I remember who I am, I know. So now I know how to help others remember who they are. When I say I know what my purpose is, I really do. It expands. There's always more facets to it, which is cool. But I'm much better capable now to help others and discover that for themselves. What are some of the other questions?
Before you go on to the next question, who are you?
I am an extension of divinity. I am a dynamic, complex, energetic, etheric light body. I am billions of conscious atoms here to experience, create, live, and love.
That's pretty
So
deep.
I didn't do the follow-up part. I do need to re-answer that because I didn't finish the rest of my homework. But I guess I give myself a pass, but yeah. Oh, look, now I can see the other questions. So like my third question was, do you feel called to change the world? Why or why not? And what does the phrase change the world mean to you? Because everybody kind of responds differently to that. Like a couple of the girls were like, no, I don't particularly feel called to change the world. I feel called to be an example of good from, there's my cat almost jumped on the thing, from, my own normal life. And I'm like, that's beautiful. That's your part to change the world. But there's a lot of women out there that they have these deep, big visions. They just don't necessarily know how to close the gap between working at the grocery store and wanting to, help all kinds of people all over. And so, but there's more and more people waking up all over. So it's happening.
So you went from question 1 to question 3, I think. What was question 2?
What's your purpose?
Oh, what's your purpose? Okay, yeah.
Mine to write, to teach, to unify, and to help humanity evolve in love and light. Oh, wait,
Very nice.
let's see.
See, I think I'd be more aligned with what you said, the last girl said. That I
And a
can
lot-
have I just want to have a positive influence on my direct little sphere of influence.
But that makes sense, but also that sphere isn't as little as you think. So just because someone, so like if I want to go help millions, that's great. You don't realize that you may very well also be helping millions because you don't know how many people are watching you, how many small moments where you have a connection with someone that you may never see again, where you have somehow imparted love and light and wisdom in their life. Like we have these divine connections all the time. When I look at the course of my life, one of the people who had the biggest impact of my life, I only knew him for 6 months. Like there's people that come along, like the girl Chantel from the retreat. I did not know her at all. Carrie invited her, and I don't know if I'll ever see her again. And she had such profound insight for me. So you don't realize, don't sell yourself short. Some people want to or are built for, I don't know. I'm built to be loud and seen. I tried hiding, it didn't work. So I'm built for that. But everybody has their own part to play, and there isn't a right or wrong way to shine as long as it feels authentic to you.
And it's a ripple effect. If you're just affecting your small circle, there's a ripple from those people to other people.
Absolutely.
So
Exactly.
it definitely moves on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Cool.
I love the feedback we get when our podcast. This little thing we're doing is helping people. It's making a
Oh,
difference.
I know, and I have referred multiple people to it. And I got a client tomorrow from you guys who
That's
seems
exciting.
amazing. Like I haven't not talked to her except for emails, and I'm like, I love this girl. She's incredible. So like you guys really are again that ripple effect. And this is like, again something that I talk to the women about when you look at synergy and what happens when people are in like-minded agreement. And if you take people who agree and then you do something with genuine intention and everybody is really like present, there is maximum power, like, and then some. It's exponential. It always amazed me at what you said, the ripple effect, but the serious power in it. Like it's not a little thing. And when you look at energy and the way that it works, and we have so much more effect on all sorts of stuff that we're just not conscious of, a lot of people.
For sure. I agree with you. So what's
Do you
on the
wanna hear-
horizon for you?
I was gonna say, do you want to hear the other question?
Yeah.
Oh
I'm
wait,
sorry, I didn't
hold on.
know
I'm
that
not
was
gonna read all of them, but I just was gonna pick one other one. Oh, okay, because this is funny. I said, of all the options out there today, this is to myself, why did you choose to come here to this specific retreat? My answer: to run away from my family responsibilities, to take a bath, which I never got to do because I was busy with other stuff, and to sleep without my kids on top of me.
Well, you definitely have to have that from time to time.
Yeah.
Yes, it's good. Hopefully, we're gonna do another one we're gonna do at least 2 more this summer. I just don't know the dates yet. So, and I may do some other, because now that I ran it, and when I tell you it ran smoothly, like it was perfect. I may just, I was even thinking I could rent an Airbnb and do like a day retreat somewhere or something. Like there's a lot of different ways to build it, but that's kind of where I'm at right now.
So how did these other 7 or 8 women hook up with you? Because you mentioned that like 2 or 3 of them or most of them you had never met before.
So one is my neighbor. She knows me the best, so she's known me a year and a half. When I tell you that I reset my whole life 2 years ago, it's funny because I still live in Naples. I've lived here forever, but I have a whole different group of everybody. So she and I know each other extremely well because we see each other all the time. So she knows me the best. Her, then Carrie, who is my co-host, but we have only known each other 3 months. But I don't remember if I mentioned this on the podcast with you. There was a day I get clues of things coming, and so I knew there was a particular business meeting that I would normally never go to, in a place I would normally never go to, that for some reason there was something coming up, I needed to go there. I some part of me tried to self-sabotage the night before. I went to bed way too late. In the morning, I didn't want to go. I was tired, and it was my only one chance to go because of timing. And my husband was like, you know, you should go. You really should go. Of course, I'm irritated. I don't want to go. Take a shower. I get there like 5 minutes late. I met Carrie there. She also didn't know that she was there. We were literally dressed the same. We did our little intros when she stood up and said, she's brilliant. She's an attorney, like she's super smart, but she's just recently getting into her spirituality and she's learning tarot. She's like, and now I read tarot. And I was like, oh, that's my person. And we clicked. I went back to her to her shop, and we spent like 4 or 5 hours together. We planned a bunch of events, and so I've never met a person where it felt like the most perfect glove. Like, oh, this is exactly perfect right here, right now.
That's really
And
awesome.
so, yeah, it's when you talk about alignment, even her degree of perfect alignment was new for me. Like, I was like, I don't hear any red flags. Wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah, really.
And she feels the same way, which is nice for me too. And
Yeah.
so she was actually the one. She told me, I think we're going to write books together. I had not told her that I'm going to write many, many books. I was not aware that I was writing them with anyone, but I definitely am with her. And so that's how I met her, but I've only known her 3 months. Two of the other girls that came into St. Pete from either out of town or out of state were people who interviewed me, just like you guys, from a podcast. And then one was a stranger who was a friend. One was a girl who, when I worked at the psychic shop, she showed up to one of my events because she felt drawn. I think they pick up on my energy signature. Not all of them. Some are curious. Some are curious. But, oh no, she was. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Because she came, which kind of surprised me, but I was super happy. She did the sound bowls, and she's a beautiful person. She's very gifted, and so it was really cool to spend some time with her. And then I had one like Chantel, I didn't know, but of course Carrie could invite whoever she want. But I had one like surprise person that just popped up. Is there room? Here's my money. Poof, I'm coming. I need it. I was like, hi, how are you? Welcome to the party. And her name was Lisa, and we met through. I'm in a progressive women's group in my community for like progressive thinking, forward thinking, inclusive thinking. And so we briefly met, but I don't even know that we talked. I think we just sat at the same big table for like a luncheon or something. But she came, and so I told her, I was like, you're my surprise. I was like, I was super excited. I don't really know anything about you. And she got what she needed, and she taught me so much. And so it was really cool. You know what? Since I'm just so damn good at talking. Hold on.
I like why you're drinking there. I like what you're saying about, not only are they learning, you're learning too. Because I used to run teacher training programs, and I would learn so much from my students. I think it's really important that you have to like let go of your ego and realize, you don't know everything, and you're going to learn from everybody.
Exactly. And I am very aware, but I'm also very aware of my blind spots. And I am someone who will ask people, I'll be like, I can tell. I'd be like, I know you see this. Could you help me out? What do you see? Like the one girl, Sam, she reads auras really well. I mean, I see all sorts of shit, but she has a very particular way in which she reads auras. And so, she took some time and she really talked to me about my own energy. Like, and it was really helpful and informative. And like when you get with people who have some understanding maybe of I don't know if I called it advanced, but like integrated spirituality, energy, these sorts of things, metaphysics, you can have such, I don't know, more complex conversations, but more easily.
Being that I've never even been close to a conversation like that, can you tell me about how that might go?
Yeah.
The
Yeah, actually, I will tell you a little bit about what she said. So when you talk about auras and stuff like that, there are lights and there are energies that you can visually see. And there are certain types of things linked to your chakras, and it's fluid, but it's also like, it's fluid, it's dynamic, but then there are also kind of common themes or whatever. And so one of the first things she said to me was, she's like, you have so much gold just shooting out of your crown, out of your head, like a halo. And it's just, she's like, do you realize that? I was like, yes. She's like, do you know what that means? I was like, yes. but I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't want to get like emotional because it's a blessing. It's a beautiful blessing and I'm aware of it, but I will literally make myself emotional if I think about it too much. She was like, okay. She was really kind of taken back. So then that was towards the beginning. Same girl. Towards the end, after like all of I think we were done with all the stuff. She had me sit in front of a wall and she just kind of stares at me. And when people do this, they're looking almost at the in-between space. It's almost like a relaxed gaze with your eyes. It's like you're looking, but it's kind of like you let things just sort of relax and it almost gets blurry and you can see differently. And she's like, well, there's a lot of, what was it? Was it yellow and like yellow and gold or just yellow? She's like, it's all around you. And then there's this gray. And it's almost like we all have protection, even me. Ego is not bad. It needs to stay its ass in check, but like it has a job. You have to understand where your defensive and your fears are coming from, right? And why you guard or don't guard. I'm pretty damn open. But so there's going to be some of that there. And she's like, it's like watching like a maze, like watching this yellow curve and peel and find its way to get past all the little safeguards to get into wherever it needs to go, which I had never heard it described like that. It was really fascinating. I'm watching her and she's explaining to me, she knows a lot about trauma. And so she could talk about like, some of this it's moving, it's shifting, the stuff is coming in, but some of the blockages can be cleared. And the more you heal, I'm still journeying, the more you integrate, all these things help to break down some of those unnecessary blocks. And so that was really fascinating. Also, because I have healing touch, she was curious. Like one of the first things she asked me, she's like, can I like look at your hand? I didn't understand why she wanted it on the wall. I was like, oh, then okay, yeah. And was it, I think it was yellow. I think it was yellow. I think I was like vibing very golden yellow all weekend long. But then when I asked her color, what she perceived her color, so her interpretation, she saw herself as kind of teal. And I said, well, that's interesting because from where I'm sitting and I'm looking at you, I see yellow. So it's very interesting because even the way we perceive ourselves and others, she may be better able to accurately perceive me because I am outside. She may not perceive herself in the same light that I do because I can see her authenticity better because I'm on the outside. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, yes.
Yeah. So conversations like that, which we're all just sitting there, this is fascinating to us. Did that
I've never
answer
had a
your question?
conversation like that, Rick.
Not really. Well, maybe when I was really stoned or something. I don't
There
remember
was
that
probably
stuff.
truth in there. I wouldn't not because you were probably wiser than you realized while you were hungry and all that. Like,
I mean, I've never had a conversation about, hey, I can see gold shooting out of your head.
how do you feel? Yeah, I know. Well,
Yeah. I mean, I've had some weird conversations for sure, but
Wasn't there someone on the podcast once that said they could see energy shooting out of your head?
yeah, actually, I think there was.
you guys I bet you guys would like Sam. She's smart and she's funny. She's a very cool girl. She lives in Illinois, and she runs also a podcast. And actually, I am reading her book right now, which is a like young adult book about emotional abuse. Like I was reading that like 2 hours ago. It brought up some more memories for me to process. And I was like, yay, healing. So, I mean, these women, they are out there each in their own right, doing these really beautiful things to help other people. One of the girls, Lisa, my surprise, she is a physical therapist. And when she started talking to me about what her work with people, and she's like, I don't know, I just make people feel better. They seem to then they feel that like whatever the thing is, all of a sudden I've said something and it's not a thing anymore. I'm like, girl, you're a miracle worker. You just didn't realize it. She's like, oh, maybe. I was like, yeah, there you go. Ta-da. You're a miracle worker. And each one of them was. Oh, the thing I was going to tell you about. We saw signs, really obvious signs. So when you talk about the universe speaking through signs, this is much more than just seeing 1111 on the clock. There are historical representations, especially when you look at animals. Well, we had saw a lot of animals, really beautiful birds and things like that, that seems to really linger by us. But I don't know. I was called outside to the back porch, and all or no, I wasn't. They were talking about something they were seeing outside the back porch. I was half paying attention because I think it was break time or whatever. And I was like, wait, this is happening right now. What is happening? So I go outside, and there is a giant great blue heron, big, eating, trying to swallow a rabbit,
Oh,
a
Holy cow.
brown rabbit. The rabbit was
wow.
already dead. And they do not eat rabbits.
No, not normally.
This one was apparently possessed in order to bring Michelle and her friends a message. So this rabbit is hanging out of his mouth, and we are all just watching. And he is trying to swallow it. He cannot. He is holding on to it for a very long time. Interestingly enough, Chantel was there, the older lady who cooked and all that. When I tell you, this woman is like the grandma of love and sparkle and sunshine, just sweet. She had recently, at that day, had a vision of a rabbit. So somebody said that when we were looking at this, somebody, and there was 8 girls total. Not all 8 of us saw it. I think only 5 of us saw it, which is also interesting. Somebody goes, didn't Chantel just have a vision or something about a rabbit? And in my mind, I said to myself, I wonder who is eating Chantel. Not long after, I feel we put a movie, it's kind of like semi-break time. I feel called to a particular deck of cards. Turns out I am eating Chantel. And it was this, I'm looking at the time because
You do have to explain what you mean by that.
Yeah.
I'm going to. I'm just I don't know how much to explain to make it. I want to make it clear and not overdo it. Because when I tell you, I had one of the most significant spiritual evolution moments of my own personal life, to such a degree that I had 10 simultaneous massive epiphanies of my mind, and my heart literally went boom, physically. I was like, like it was quite intense. One of the cards was the great heron, and it talked about control, and it was a representation for the ego and pride, and rabbit represented love and light, and looking at it was, the information came on multiple layers. So I start with me, right? So I'm like, ooh, Michelle. Now let me tell you, I felt great all weekend. I didn't feel like my ego was out of balance. Like, I felt love. I felt like, and when I talk to other girls afterwards, I get feedback. Everybody's like, you're doing a great job. It's wonderful. So I'm like super hyper aware of this, and I feel in balance, but the message still stands. And it was one of those moments where I was like, even if you feel totally aligned right now, this is something you need to be aware of, because wherever you're going, you may very well end up completely famous. You need to, because you want to do it in love and light, girl. You got to stay aligned. So I took this super duper to heart for me personally, even in a moment where I felt great. The next layer, though, was understanding that lesson for all of us. And I knew that this was for all of us, especially the ones that witnessed it. Like, understanding each one of us, the way in which we treat ourselves matters. Our ability to love our spirit, our soul, our inner child, our sense of wonder, our sense of innocence and purity. And that part of us that can kind of sometimes roar. And like, understanding what balance looks like. And my word for the weekend was harmony. I don't know that I ever said that to the girls, but that's why I used it. Harmony is something that is different than peace on a different level, and realizing that we really are dynamic creatures, and especially people who are going through or sensing some degree of spiritual awakening. sometimes you don't want to just stay peace. Peace can just be calm. Harmony has a completely different energy to it, and it's really learning about how do you make music out of all of the pieces, make magic, whatever the thing is. Like, how do you produce something that is really truly perfectly woven together in a balanced manner that it sings? And so kind of taking that, so the three cards I had, I can't remember all of them. I know the devil, that was in the middle. I was like, look at that. This is it. Was, and then the other one was the tortoise, but the, and I can't remember all the words right this second, but it literally was like a perfect, it was like, look, there's a sign. Oh my God. And I just feel out of my head like I should grab this deck of cards that wasn't mine. And in my set, I'm always very playful. I'm like, I'm gonna play with those. And I get these three cards, and it's the interpretation right there. Hold down, heart go bam, all this at once. So I am doing this. Meanwhile, me and two of the other girls are, whether or not you choose to believe in the collective consciousness and telepathy and things like this, we are already very linked, but at this event, because of what we're doing, we are extra connected. So I'm at the table getting information. They're in the kitchen getting information. I run over there to be like, oh my God, guess what? This, da 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 da. And they're like, da 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 da. And it's like this rapid fire energy exchange. And then, like, once we all get it out, I'm like, I need to go write stuff down right now. And so I go, I put my headphones on, I write all the different messages that are coming into me, that the ones that because I sort it, the ones that I know that are for me, that I need to keep for me, the ones that I need to share. And I have known for a while that I am meant to be an example, good and bad, it's okay. I am comfortable to live vulnerably and raw so that others can see, oh, she did that right, I'm gonna model that. Oh, she did that wrong, let's not do that. And I'm okay with being a that kind of raw. And so as I'm writing all my notes and I'm watching the clock, and the schedule was even perfect, I was like, this is so good. I was like, okay, we're gonna gather, and it was coming up. This was right before our last session, which was the session I had the least clarity on, because I didn't need to have the clarity on it because it was gonna roll at the moment off my tongue. And so we gathered, and I shared all of the different things that were coming. And I even cried. I broke down a little bit. I shared some of my own vulnerability, like my things, and some of the things I did wrong, my own judgments, and like literally live processed so they could see, well, bravery, and that it's okay to do this in a safe space, and that regardless to what anyone thought of me when they left, I didn't care. I knew that I was safe, and it was good to show this. And so we talked about all the different things, we kind of shared in discussion, and then we prayed. That's what we do. So that was was one of the big signs. That was the biggest one for the group, and then I had a big one for myself too, but there was stuff like that all weekend long. It was magic.
I don't know that I understood how you were eating her.
It represented me as in the leader of the group at the time.
Okay.
So me being, and I representing the leader, also represented control and pride for the moment. So, and that was the title, what was it, of the card? It was like assertive control and counsel or something. And so the bird, oh, I know why. I left something out. Before we went, that's so funny, I knew, okay, anyways. Before the trip happened, and we're prepping, when I was told that this lovely woman, Chantel, was coming, I don't know why I felt a vibration of irritation. I was like, I know I love her. I know she's loving. Why? What am I feeling? But it was like, because I told her about this later. We actually told her all of them. I said, I don't know why, but I felt a degree of irritation not knowing you. And that's kind of out of character for me. I'm usually like everybody. And that for me was because she would have never known. No one had to ever know this. I chose to share it because second I saw her, I'm like, I love you. You're cooking. You're great. So I could have kept this to myself. No harm, no foul. But it showed me a place as small as it was, where there was judgment within my heart,
Mm.
where I misjudged someone without knowing them for no reason. And so I used that as like, before I ever saw the animals, I had already talked to God, and I'm like, what was that? Why did I feel that way? How how can I identify that in the future so that I can like understand what it is and not have that reaction? So I had already thought about that, like moved on like the day before. And again, I didn't have to tell anybody. When I saw that, I was like, no, this is a very powerful lesson for all of us. And so that was part of what I shared with the girls and everything. So does that fill you in on why it was me eating her?
It does. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes. So shit like that was all weekend.
That's awesome.
At the-
Anything else you want to share about that retreat?
yeah, I'm gonna share the last one. Yeah.
Okay.
When everything was over, when I tell you that my energy was like, it was like everything dropped. I was like, oh, I'm done. I am completely done. And I was like, I gotta go. Bye. As I was like, I want to go sit by myself for a little bit. And so I went to the condo and completely by myself, and I sat outside on the back porch. Just looking at the beach and the beautiful weather. And there's crows. There have been crows close by us frequently and watching us. But this one really big, fluffy black crow is circling, and he comes over and he lands in the tree next to me with his mouth open. Then he comes and he lands in the grass, like in front of me, with his staring the whole time. He's in the tree looking at me. He's in the grass looking at me, and I'm just looking at him. Hey, what's up? He comes over and he sits on the back of the chair opposite of me, like 6 feet away from me, with his mouth open. And he was big and fluffy. He was definitely a male. Mouth open, sits on the chair right in front of me. And there's nobody there to see this. This is just my moment. And automatically I just said, thank you for seeing me. Thank you for letting me know that I am not alone. And thank you for supporting me. Then he flew away. We saw him later. He was still watching around. And for me, that was like, of all the cool things on the personal level, that was like, thank you. It was like, good job, my faithful servant, or whatever they say in the Bible. And I've gotten so many testimonies back from the women and the information they're getting about themselves, and like understand, like Chantel, she's gonna go open Airbnbs and do cooking, and like she's like, I didn't know what I was gonna do, now I do. I'm like, this is so beautiful. And she will do that for others, just like she taught me about myself without even realizing it. And so yeah, it was just, I could tell you 100 more things, but that was
I'm definitely a believer in the bird thing. It seems like birds have appeared in weird situations, not weird, but in certain situations my entire life. At Grandpa Benedict's funeral, there was seagulls hanging around his grave. There were never any seagulls hanging around in Allen Park, it just wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there were seagulls in Allen Park?
Michigan.
No, I know where that is. That's why you shocked me.
Yeah.
I didn't, when you said, I was like, that is really bizarre.
Yeah, you'd see them in the river down by Lake Erie and stuff.
Yeah.
Sometime in the parking lots at the grocery store.
Yeah, and stuff like that. And then when DK, my stepdad, there was another bird. It was just an odd bird up at Michigan Memorial up north.
Mhm.
Same with my mom. And then when I lived in an RV for a year or two in Arcadia, I kind of got to be friends with this little wren.
Oh.
And he would always, if I could be just sitting out in the morning having coffee, and this little wren, and he would just come around, and then I would make sure I had crackers or bread or something I could throw him. And I saw him all the time, and he would come and hang out and get really close. And I kind of developed a relationship with this because that connected me with these other times where birds connected with. And then about a month ago, I'm at my new house, which I've been in for a year, and I was just outside, like watering my tomato plants, and I swear to God, it's the same wren. A little brown bird about this, and I make that connection with, really with my mom. That's what I think about when I see that little bird. And she passed away in a fire, 12 years ago or so, and
what is it about the bird specifically that resonates of your mother? Was it a bird she liked, or?
no, I just had the vibe.
So, what would you think that your mother would be saying to you if she was speaking through the bird?
Oh, I don't even want to go there. But well, yeah.
Well, to help you
I don't
out,
really want to share that, but
it's much more loving. It's very much a message of love, trust, restored, forgiveness. It's a beautiful message, just knowing that you are seen, and that, and there's a and and she's sorry, and there's a message of forgiveness there, but it is surrounded in love. So I want you to know that it is surrounded by love.
well, I appreciate that. Uh, and I've seen this little wren or representative, or its representative.
Call it mom.
Yeah, and I mean several times. I mean, it just kind of shows up now and then.
Just checking in on you.
I
That's
think so, maybe.
It's a beautiful thing. It's amazing. Anyways.
Yeah.
It is. So I really wanted to get into a little bit more light language with you.
Okay. Oh, cool.
Because you were the first one that talked to us about light language. We've had others on, talked a little about light language, but I don't know. I still have this huge curiosity about it.
When you get gut instincts, right? You can feel energy in your belly. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt it like try to come up? Have you ever felt
Oh,
anything
yeah.
run up? Yes?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What stops you from letting it come out, or have you let it in private?
What do you mean?
So if you feel something coming up, like does it want to come out your mouth? Does it come out your mouth?
Not necessarily, no.
What stops it from coming up and out?
I have no idea.
Okay. So it's fear of the unknown, but that's okay. And there's no rules. I just helped Cheryl process that. So when I look at light language, I look at it as a baptism or an initiation by spirit of fire. Now it is more dynamic than just fire, but it is a very fiery, spicy brand of energy. And so there's different dialects and there's different degrees of truth, because just like all of it, everything filters through us. So depending on how clear we are, that's how accurate the message is. It's cool watching, because I've seen many people over the years get baptized in that, or however you want to say it, but not everybody does. But there's something to it that there are so many people that have access to this gift, but they stop themselves because they don't know what it is. It feels weird. Maybe they don't want it. I mean, there were times where I turned my gifts off. I said, no, thank you. I don't want that. And Spirit's not going to shove it. So, but yeah, you just want me to do some prayers?
Sure.
Okay. Well, you guys want to kind of just bring yourself into this meditative space with me and just kind of close your eyes and take a couple of deep breaths and bring your attention down to your center, giving safe space for us to here and now, to give permission to relax just for a little bit, permission to let go of all of the carries, concerns, worries, and just to open and breathe. Ukiritatasinia toshimi kalatatania tarakatasania. Alkatatinia tutushunia tutkonama takania. Akatasinia tutarasinia. So what that is right there is a little bit different. It feels like I am trying to teach something cellular, which is interesting because I get different vibrational translations at different times. So I'm just going to kind of run with this, but I'm going to do the best I can to kind of translate as I go. Spirit, I thank you so much for my brothers. I thank you that you have brought them back into my sphere of awareness, and that I can bless them and help them. I ask that for their journeys and their evolutions, that you meet them where they are, that you gently, gently continue to awaken, regenerate, restore. From the inside out, gently, gently, gently guide them in their dreams. Allow divinity within them to come forward gently by harmony, by peace, by love, by truth. Any heaviness, darkness, negativity, or low vibrations that are at this time ready to go, be gone right now. In the name of love, light, hope, purity, and all that is good, aligned with their highest needs. And their higher power. Anything that does not belong, go right now. Thank you so much. Breathe. So as I'm speaking, breathing now, I get like flashes in my eyes. Bushosia sutrutinia tatala akatasata shinia fontikinia latatasinia lukatala bushasinia totratasinia. I thank you for the family relation here. I thank you for whatever that is, that genetic that I'm seeing right now. Oh, it's like vibrating. Oh my God, you guys are healing. Oh my God, you guys are healing massive amounts of generational trauma and curses through your love and your lineage. Oh, this is really pretty. I am so thankful that you are men who can feel. Not that you guys are perfect, neither am I, but you guys are trying to be better than you were yesterday in your own paths, and that is what matters most. I thank you for all of the women in their families. I thank you for what you are washing away by the bucket load. I thank you for the renewal and the transformation through their bloodline and through their genetics. I thank you for the deep transformation. May it come gently. May it blossom and bloom like a beautiful flower. You guys, my eyes are flashing like wild colors. It's crazy. Ketatinia, okay, latatinia. From the top of their heads to the soles of their feet, wash them in love. Bathe them in truth, high truth. Let the veils fall away. Accelerate their evolution in the way that suits them best. Help them find their best paths to make their days easier and easier. Okay, so Jim, we had talked before about you having some low energy. So right now I'm kind of putting my energy kind of space in that mindset. I speak to his life force energy, any blockages, open, make space. Breathe with me, guys. Allow renewed regeneration and renewal and refreshing like a wellspring. Begin to up that energy flow. Thank you that you will meet them each where they are. Anything Rick needs, thank you that you see it. I don't need to. Breathe it in. Thank you for all you're doing in their life. I ask that they be sealed. Okay, thank you. One other thing. Should you be curious to explore your light language, because it's already there, Jim, that is your discretion. If you need help, you want to talk to somebody about it, I am here. But it is not forceful on you, but it is definitely there should you desire to ever play with that. I would give myself, like that would be my only advice, would give yourself permission to explore. Do it by yourself. Nobody's there to judge you. But honestly, there's no pressure at all either. It's just a gift. Thank you that they are perfectly sealed in love. And so it is, guys. Just breathe it in and open your eyes when you're ready. Hmm. Mm.
Well, thank you for those prayers. It was interesting. I was being very self-aware when you first started. I got a lot of tingling up in the front of my brain.
Mhm.
Thought that was pretty cool because I hadn't felt anything like that before.
Oh, you haven't ever?
Not with somebody doing light language.
But you felt it other times, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, for sure.
Interesting. That's
Yeah.
interesting. It has to do with the activation and like the cellular stuff that's happening. But it's really, really cool. And what's nice is like with the women, I'm trying to teach them to activate from within, to heal from within. But because of what I do, I can accelerate it. So I can almost like little boosts of power and then take it off or wherever. So how about you? How you feeling? You good?
Oh, good. Yeah, thanks.
Good. I had like the circus in my eyes. It's like do 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 do.
Uh, after telling you about how my energy's been low, I went and saw an acupuncturist, actually one we had on our show, Antonio Barros, and it was actually like a culmination of like a week's really deep spiritual stuff for me. And so when he did the acupuncture, well, I will say since then my energy has been amazingly better. Um, and there was one other thing that we worked on, energy and something else, and both have been better sleep. So I've been sleeping great and been having a lot more energy during the day. So
That's good. That's so good. I have always wanted to see an acupuncturist. I've never been. I know I will be. It's actually on my. I keep putting it on my list, and I take it off my list. I put it on my list. But I not always wanted to do it, but I would like to do it now.
but he'd be a bit of a drive for you, but I'd highly recommend him. He's amazing. Great energy.
Good to
Invite
know.
invite one or him to your next retreat.
There you go.
I
There
could.
you go.
Totally could.
Yeah, there you go.
Lots of options.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, we're getting close to the end of the hour. Any final thoughts?
No. Do you have any other questions about light language?
I have so many questions about light language.
Can you
Like,
think of one?
yeah, where is this coming from? I mean, would you say spirit? Would you say another entity?
Okay. So there is misunderstanding about spirits and entities. There's a lot of misunderstandings. To you, what is the difference between spirit and entity? Are you talking about like high truth God Almighty and like lesser energies?
Yeah, yeah, I
Okay.
think so. Like when I think of spirit, I guess I'm using that in a term of the divine.
Okay.
When I'm thinking of entities, I think of anything from um, someone that hasn't incarnated or in between incarnations or just hanging out in the spirit realm or ETs.
Interesting. So my perspective, first off, light language comes from the divine, comes from God Almighty, whatever you want to call it, whatever flavor. Now, there are variations. My understanding from how I am taught from within, because I get different sounds from different parts of my body, that it's almost like they filter through different chakras at different frequencies, maybe is the word or something like that.
Hmm.
So some people call them dialects. I don't think that that's the right word. You have to understand, unless you are talking about a real living physical extraterrestrial that exists right now somewhere else, that if we had the speed we could get there and be like shake their hand, a lot of the things that people try to define are not physical. They're not 3D. So they are representations within our own minds. So a lot of particular energetic signatures present to people in similar ways because it's easiest for humans to comprehend. But it does not mean that our comprehension is accurate in the way we define what it is we're perceiving. Does that make sense?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Did
So
did you copy all that?
I just know it is pretty deep. So
part of my job is to figure out how to make it not so deep. Um, I think a lot of people try to put entities and energies into words that aren't accurate, like A lot of people are talking about ETs. I don't think they're physical aliens living on another planet sending us a fax message. I don't. I'm not saying that doesn't exist. I'm just saying that I think that what people are interpreting is more multidimensional energy that is not rooted in the physical. So even I have been in the Galactic Council. I know what people mean now when they say that. Even still, it's not a physical place. It is an energetic construct. So like even that I can interpret different than someone else. So if you take people who don't pause to really understand what they're perceiving before they write it down on paper, it can look really, really different and be really confusing. And that's why you get people that want to argue about different like alien dialects. Okay, the Christians want to say it's from the Tower of Babylon, or like it's not linked. It's not a language that's verbatim. It is an energetic signature in the same way you can feel your spouses. If you understand what I mean, or you can feel your kids, especially if they're close, where you'd be like,
Yeah.
I feel so and so's about to call me, and then they call me. You know that particular energetic signature. The light language has its own energetic signature, and they have flavors. That's the best way I can say it. I told somebody yesterday, I was like, I can sniff out energy. I don't know how else to say it. And it's like they're like their own little webs. And you can, if you can see it or feel it, you can dissect it. But the ability to articulate it accurately, most people I see don't do it correctly. And I try not to overdo it because I don't want to do it incorrectly. Does that make sense?
It does, yes.
So,
I got
but it
gotcha.
comes from the true divine. Like that's the best.
Mm-hmm.
I should send you something to read in between, and then maybe it might help, and we might. Can you see I am all red? I'm like,
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, I
Yeah.
noticed right in the show when that happened.
Yeah, it's power of whatever. This also happens though if I have an alcoholic drink or if I get really emotional. I'm like a chameleon. So, but also when I'm doing this sometimes. I don't have time to say all that, but I will next time. Do you have any other specific questions besides where it comes from?
No, not right now. I think we'll have to save it for another show.
Next time you
Just
can tell
because
me
of
you want to
time
talk about that
constraint.
first. That way I have direction.
Yeah.
It was no problem. I thought we'd have a little bit more time towards the end, but it's no worries.
The one thing I will say, and then I know we're watching time, but because you and I were talking about somebody else who does light language, and why does it feel different? Because this is where my head goes. When I watch other people do it, I can sense immediately the truth. There is always some truth in there, but the filter, the human vessel, me.
Mm-hmm.
If my vessel is not clear, I will not filter the message correctly. It's like playing a telephone. It's like why the Bible is all misconstrued. You know how many people have had their hands on that? How many filters that had to go through? When you talk about psychic gifts and connecting with the divine, there's a lot of really talented, gifted people out there. But if the divine is not like judged, like you're good enough for that gift, it doesn't work like that. Here's your gift. I hope you use it wisely. A lot of people, if they are filtering high truth through a cloudy vessel, the energetic signature is duller. It resonates differently. And so that's where I talk about like it gets miscommunicated. It gets misunderstood. And so you got people talking about expert level things where I'm like, I know I'm an expert. I grew up with this. I don't think you got it right. And I know I'm smart enough to know I'm not going to even try to articulate that part yet because it's still forming. And then you can tell too if their fear meters are off and if they are not healed in their emotional center. Again, it's damaging the truth. So to me, when you really, because I would guess that authentic strains of light language, there's a handful and they probably integrate a little bit. But the number of people who are out there speaking it who feel differently is a whole lot, because they're all filtering through different vessels at different levels of healing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I just want to share that last little bit.
Thank you.
Yep. Well, cool. Thanks for hanging out with us again.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we really appreciate
Like
your
hearing
time.
about your retreat action going on up there. I hope your next one's a success again.
Thank you so much. And I'm so glad we got to chat some more, and we'll do it again.
Sounds great.
Sounds good.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you, Michelle.
So if you just listen to this podcast and you appreciate the content and the work that we're doing, we would love your support. Look in the comment section of this episode. Subscribe, rate us, comment. This gets our podcast in front of other listeners. And if you noticed, we don't have advertisers. For the cost of a cup of coffee, you can help keep it this way. Become a supporter right now. We'd appreciate it. I'm Jim the Yogi.
I'm Rick the BeachMan.
Peace.